Continuing from the previous episode 885. That was just now. Zheng Zhen took Fen Tian and his party into the underground palace, and then said, King Xuanling does have the gold medal of Xuanling, but with Zheng Zhen's status, it is absolutely impossible for King Xuanling to give it to Zheng Zhen. After all, the token of Xuanling has extraordinary meaning in the entire royal family of Xuanling. I know some details of King Xuanling, don't worry. At this time, Fen Tian's 7 people naturally returned to their normal appearance, and then Fen Tian said. When Zheng Zhen heard the words, he was naturally relieved. With the strength of Fen Tian Do Xian, he forged a profound spirit token, so General Feng, who had the strength of the 7-star Do Emperor outside, would naturally not be able to tell whether it was true or false. Pavilion Master, I can only bring you here. I'm afraid you will have to rely on yourself for the rest of the way. Zheng Zhen shook his head and said, not that Zheng Zhen had the intention of retreating, but that before things did not succeed, Zheng Zhen's identity cannot be revealed. After all, Fenxiang Pavilion spent a lot of money to convince the members of the Xuanling royal family. If Fenxian and a few people fail, there is still a way out. Well, go back. Fen Tian nodded and said, Shabu Shabu. Zheng Zhen heard the words and didn't stay here for a long time, and immediately disappeared. What did you find? As Zheng Zhen disappeared, Fen Tian asked Zhu Jin. Of the 7 people here, only you and Zhu Jin are powerful, but you have to hide your strength, so it is impossible to make a rash move. It's strange, there is indeed some fiery aura here, although it's very weak. However, I sensed Xiao Yan's aura. Elder Zhu suddenly shook his head and said, and then looked down, his eyes were on the 2nd floor of the underground palace. Xiao Yan? Mu Shuji frowned when he heard this, obviously not knowing how Xiao Yan came here. Xiao Yan. Fen Tian was not too surprised when he heard this. He was looking forward to this most outstanding disciple in the Fenxiang Pavilion, even if he was as arrogant as Fenxian. Don't worry about them. The 2 of them should have their own plans. Fen Tian hesitated and said, but these 2 guys are the outstanding seeds of our Fenxiang Pavilion today, if something goes wrong. Mu Shuji hurriedly heard the words. The danger in the underground palace of the Xuanling royal family is no joke. Don't worry, if you don't experience wind and rain, how can you see a rainbow? Fen Tian smiled. When Xiao Yan just left the customs, all kinds of mysteries about him had already spread to his ears. If he was a guy with extraordinary talent, he would naturally not be afraid of the 2nd floor of the underground palace. But if it was groundless, it would be extremely difficult to win Fen Tian's approval. Go directly to the 3rd floor of the underground palace. In addition, set a ban at the entrance of the 3rd floor to prevent this kid from going further. After all, this guy's strength should only be able to deal with the 2nd floor. If he enters the 3rd floor, I am afraid it will be extremely dangerous. Fen Tian turned his head and said, let's go. After Fen Tian finished speaking, the 7 people turned into a beam of light and walked towards the bottom. And not far from a few people, the figures of Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying also appeared slowly. Gollum. With a slight sound, a space vortex appeared in that space, and then the figures of Mu Yingying and Xiao Yan emerged directly from it, and then fell down on the rock below. What is this place? Xiao Yan's first reaction was to ask. Xiao Yan only remembered that he sealed the fighting spirit in that wild place. After the seal was over, all of Xiao Yan's strength was exhausted. However, Mu Yingying appeared right after. After Mu Yingying appeared, a destructive force instantly came, and at the same time, a mysterious space vortex directly sucked them in, and when they opened their eyes again, they came here. If it weren't for the mysterious space whirlpool at the end, I'm afraid Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying would be in a very bad situation. After all, Xiao Yan knew that the strength of the old man who appeared last should be a genuine fighting immortal powerhouse. Fighting immortals, for the current Xiao Yan, it is tantamount to a disaster. Yingying, are you all right? Xiao Yan looked at Mu Yingying who was lying on top of his body, touched her slightly and said. Louis, Mu Yingying had fallen into a coma, but after Xiao Yan shouted, she woke up slightly. The last power, it belongs to my brother. Mu Yingying just opened her eyes, but she said without hesitation. When the final spatial vortex was formed, Mu Yingying clearly felt a joyful sound from the blue holy flame within her body. That kind of joy, only the breath of his brother can make him look like this. Your brother. Xuan suddenly said secretly when he heard the words. When Xuan had completely devoured the fire-heart heavenly rock before, Xuan rushed to the 7th floor of the underground palace because he was promoted to the first stage of the burning judgment. At that time, if it wasn't for a trace of Mu Yingying's aura on him, and being rescued by the person in the underground palace, I am afraid that he would have fallen into the hands of the strong guards on the 7th floor of the underground palace. So now that Mu Yingying is so sure, then Mu Yingying's brother is basically Yan Kai, who is bound to the 7th floor of the underground palace. This place should be in the underground palace of the Xuanling royal family. The next moment, Mu Yingying opened her mouth. Following Mu Yingying's words, Xiao Yanmo glanced around. Xiao Yan saw that they were now in an extremely huge space. The space extends in all directions, but most of them are some rocks. The rock texture is extremely solid, but they are on a cliff. And when Xiao Yan looked up, he found that not far from his feet and Mu Yingying's feet, there were dozens of stone steps, and these stone steps lead to the highest point. As for what was at the top, Xiao Yan didn't find it because his vision was blocked, but with the strength of his soul, Xiao Yan knew that there was something terrifying at the top of the stone steps. Here, it seems to be a lava world. Mu Yingying got up slightly, ran to the outside of the rock where the two were, and said, "The world of lava?" Xiao Yan immediately frowned when he heard the words, and hurriedly followed. However, when Xiao Yan came to Mu Yingying's side and looked down from the rock under the two's feet, a shock emerged in his heart. What a molten world! Xiao Yan couldn't help saying, because what was reflected in Xiao Yan's pupils was dozens of meters below the rock under his feet, and the bubbles of lava continued to emerge, and the temperature was extremely high. Even some gravel had just submerged into the lava, and suddenly turned into nothingness. I don't know what the top is. The next moment, Xiao Yan stared at the tops of the dozens of stone steps. At the same time, something in Xiao Yan's body also burst into cheers. The yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother? Xiao Yan didn't know the reason why this thing made such a happy sound, but the reason should be related to the thing at the top of the stone steps. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 886. Go up and have a look? Xiao Yan said to Mu Yingying. After all, apart from these rocks, there is nothing else here, and there is lava below, so naturally we have to walk up the stone steps. Let's go! At this moment, Mu Yingying's thoughts were all on her brother, so she didn't have time to pay attention to these matters, so she said directly. Ta-ta-ta! Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying stepped on the stone steps, facing the top. 1 step, 2 steps. This stone stair didn't seem to be as terrifying as Xiao Yan imagined, and even without any obstacles, Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying came directly to the top. As soon as they came to the top, Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying were both stunned for a moment, because they were both shocked by the scene in front of them. In the eyes of the two, there are hundreds of weapons. Among the weapons, there are swords, spears, halberds, axes, tomahawks, hooks, and forks. Moreover, Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying both knew that these weapons were surrounded by a vague vicious aura, and at a glance, they knew that they were from the hands of famous teachers. Turning his head and looking at it, he found that in addition to the extremely large magical weapons, there are also some casting tables for making weapons and some special tools for tempering weapons. Is this the 2nd floor of the underground palace? Xiao Yan said in surprise. Looking at the complete range of weapons here, it doesn't look like a place containing treasures, but it looks like a place specially designed to forge weapons. Ah woo! With a slight sound, a middle-aged man suddenly appeared directly above the two of them, and there was a sound of exhaustion in the corner of his mouth. Who is it? Don't you know that you don't sleep early and disturb people's lunch break? The middle-aged man walking towards him said with a trace of displeasure. The middle-aged man was dressed in blacksmith clothes, but his muscles were extremely solid, and his strength also made Xiao Yan feel an indescribable feeling. I have no intention of passing by. Xiao Yan said with a slight smile. Aren't you going to pass by? Do I believe in you? Boy, don't pretend to be confused. If you have something to say, don't waste your time. Hearing the words, the figure approaching directly laughed and scolded. It seems that among the two talented and beautiful women in front of him, this man gives Master Lu an unfathomable feeling. The man approaching was the first smith in Xuanshan, Master Lu. The strength of the dignified rank 5 9-star Do D, and the casting master level is also at the 9th level, and it is only one step away from the fairy weapon master. Senior. When Xuan heard the words, he and Mu Yingying looked at each other immediately, not knowing what medicine Master Lu was selling in confusion. Oh, I forgot to introduce it. I'm a foundry, and everyone calls me Master Lu. Master Lu said directly without seeing Xuan and the two of them unaware. A foundry? Master Lu? Could it be that Master Lu, who is known as the first casting master of Xuan? Xuan was shocked when he heard this. The name of Master Lu, Xuan has heard many times in the mouth of Zhu Lao. Even if it is as powerful as Zhu Lao Banxian, he praises Master Lu well, which is enough to see how powerful this Master Lu is. Place. It's this old man. Although Master Lu was proud of himself, he slightly put down his face when facing Xuan. Ordinary people only know that Master Lu lives in Xuanling City, runs a blacksmith shop, and makes a living by casting. But they didn't know that the blacksmith shop was actually just for Master Lu to fool others and wanted Master Lu to make weapons. Master Lu's sky-high asking price was no lower than that of the alchemist, and he had to prepare his own materials. Master Broken Bronze Tielu didn't even look at it. In his words, weapons made from broken copper and iron have no soul, so they are disdainful. And very few people know that Master Lu actually has some cooperation with King Xuanling. King Xuanling provided Master Lu with precious materials for refining weapons, which is why Master Lu is now known as the #1 casting master in Xuanchen days. In return, Master Lu forged weapons for some outstanding disciples of the Xuanling royal family. Of course, the premise is, the condition is to pass the approval of King Xuanling, and have the gold medal of Xuanling in the hands of King Xuanling, and enter the second floor of the underground palace. Therefore, although Master Lu didn't understand why Xuanling King sent these two little guys in, but the underground palace was heavily guarded, even Master Lu's 5th-ranked 9-star duty would not necessarily be able to break in, so it was natural to think Xuan and the two were Xuanling King. Two people sent to build weapons. It's true. Master Lu, we came here this time to forge weapons. Xuan's eyes suddenly rolled slowly, as if he had some thoughts in his heart. And Mu Yingying followed Xuan and was slightly startled. They came here to guide her brother's breath, and Mu Yingying was clearly going to find her brother, so how could it be to forge weapons? Just when Mu Yingying was puzzled and was about to speak, Xuan suddenly pulled up Mu Yingying's slender hand with his warm palm and said with a smile, "Yes, Yingying." After Xuan finished speaking, he kept flashing his eyes at Mu Yingying. Mu Yingying was confused by Xuan's inexplicable outburst, but she nodded and said, since it was Xuan, she could trust her without reservation. Sure enough. Although I have some cooperation with King Xuanling, if it's scrap metal then please come back. After all, those things are just a waste of my time. Master Lu heard the words, and the guess in his heart was confirmed to some extent, but he still said in a non-trivial manner. Most of the people in the Xuanling royal family are arrogant, but Master Lu found that the handsome man and woman in front of him did not seem to have that kind of arrogance, which made Master Lu have a good attitude towards them. But Master Lu was in order to the face of his own foundry master. He still maintained a steady voice. He. When Xuan heard this, he naturally smiled slowly. Who would have thought that he would come to the second floor of the underground palace by accident and meet Master Lu again? Since Xuan and Mu Yingying obtained the Yin-Yang Profound Iron Mother from the ruins, Xuan originally wanted to find a time to go to Xuanling City to find this master to recast the fairy sword that he had given to Mu Yingying. After all, Xuan had already experienced the power of that immortal sword, but with all the energy exhausted while in the corpse forest, it suddenly dimmed, as if it were an ordinary weapon. But now that there is the Yin-Yang Mysterious Iron Mother, Xuan is confident that under the masterful hands of Master Lu, this fairy sword will definitely emit its true light. I don't know, Senior, if this thing is possible to cast. Xuan did not hesitate, slowly took out the extremely precious Yin-Yang Profound Iron Mother from the ring, and then said slightly to Master Lu. However, Master Lu's original smile and pride were when he saw the Yin-Yang Profound Iron Mother in Xuan's hand. His pupils shrank tightly, and he lost his voice. Yin-Yang Profound Iron Mother? End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 887. Yin-Yang Mysterious Iron Mother? Master Lu's lazy eyes suddenly became extremely energetic, and his eyes were actually fixed on the strange thing in Xuan's hand, never leaving his eyes. At this time, the yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother in Xiaoyan's hands was actually fused together. Although Xiaoyan didn't know the reason, it wasn't a bad thing to think about. Damn, it's actually the yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother. I've never seen this thing in my life, I'm so lucky. Master Lu saw this, his figure flashed, and he came to Xiaoyan's side in an instant. His mouth kept twitching, and he couldn't help but let out a few foul language. There is no way. Master Lu's identity as a craftsman is the same as that of a proud alchemist. When he sees the precious casting weapon materials, his eyes glow with golden light, and he can't control other things. Senior Master Lu. Xiaoyan looked at the yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother in his hand and restrained Master Lu. He immediately knew how expensive this thing was, and immediately reminded him out loud. Oh! Master Lu saw Xiaoyan's voice, and hurriedly pretended to sneeze, trying to hide his excitement. The medicinal materials required for refining high-level medicinal herbs are extremely precious, but the more powerful the magic weapon, the more precious materials are needed. Not to mention other things, just the fist-sized yin-yang Iron Mother in Xiaoyan's hand. I am afraid that a finger-sized piece, Master Lu is confident, adding some other auxiliary materials, it is absolutely possible to refine an immortal-level weapon. Immortal-level weapons, even those who fight immortals are quite envious. Moreover, the yin-yang profound Iron Mother in Xiaoyan's hand was not a small piece the size of a finger, but a large piece the size of a fist. This fist-sized chunk might be able to make a lot of excellent weapons. Hey, I don't know what the little brother is called. Master Lu also smiled at this moment. After all, the things in Xiaoyan's hands attracted his attention. Yan Xiao. Xiaoyan had an idea and spoke directly. Puff puff. After Xiaoyan said her name, for some unknown reason, Mu Yingying laughed outright. Mu Yingying also seemed to have discovered Xiaoyan's intentions, so she couldn't help laughing, but Master Lu's thoughts were all on Xiaoyan, and she didn't have time to pay attention to Mu Yingying. Yan Xiao, what a good name. Little brother is here to make weapons, right? I don't know what weapon you want to forge. I'm the #1 casting master in Xuan. There is no one who is better at casting weapons than me. Such a large piece of yin-yang profound Iron Mother, I am afraid that at least 3 immortal-level weapons can be cast. Master Lu said a lot in one breath, and then eagerly looked forward to finding an answer. Unnecessary. Yingying, take that thing out. Xiaoyan shook his head. Although this yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother is very valuable, Xiaoyan already owns the ancient eternal fire ruler. For this heavy ruler, Xiaoyan can use it quite a bit. Familiar. If I change other weapons, I'm afraid that Xiaoyan will not be used to it, so this yin-yang black Iron Mother still repairs the fairy sword for Mu Yingying. After all, Mu Yingying still lacks a combat weapon. Ah! Mu Yingying originally thought that Xiaoyan wanted to use this yin and yang mysterious Iron Mother to temper her heavy ruler, because Mu Yingying seemed to have heard from her brother that the magic weapon was powerful, but she was adding to it. Some precious materials will become more powerful. It's the broken sword I gave you last time. Xiaoyan thought that Mu Yingying didn't hear what she said, and said Zaidu. Oh! Mu Yingying felt warm when she heard the words. Obviously, what the holy flame spirit said in her body was naturally self-defeating. Then, the next moment, Mu Yingying's whole body flashed blue light, and then a fiery red fairy sword appeared in her hand. This is the broken immortal sword that Xiaoyan got from the infernal corpse forest, but at the last moment, the last power in the broken immortal sword was used almost the same, and since there is no scabbard, it is no different from a waste product. Good guy. Xiaoyan just caught it, and suddenly felt an invisible flame force coming from above the fiery red fairy sword. Senior Master Lu, Jr. wants to use this yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother to recast this sword. Xiaoyan took the immortal sword, which was like a waste product without any fluctuation in power, and then said to Master Lu. This sword. Good sword. After the fiery red fairy sword reached Xiaoyan's hand, Master Lu suddenly stared at the broken fairy sword in Xiaoyan's hand and said, "Why did the senior say this?" Xiaoyan was surprised when he heard the words. Although I have long known Master Lu's unique insights on forging weapons, there is no such saying that you can know weapons by looking at them. Your sword, even among immortal-level weapons, is enough to rank in the forefront. It's a pity that the damage is too serious. Master Lu's eyes flashed with regret first, and then flashed with enthusiasm. Although the immortal sword is indeed seriously damaged, this kid has a yin and yang mysterious iron mother on his body. So many yin and yang black iron mothers are enough to create a better matching sword than this. However, if you borrow the sword itself, as you said, and add some auxiliary and yin-yang mysterious iron mother, the power of this weapon will be greatly increased several times. Boy, you are so talented. Master Lu wanted to hug Xuan and kiss him. Senior, is there any problem? Xuan said, no problem. Although this yin and yang black iron mother is extremely difficult to refine, my strength is that of a rank 5 9-star fighting emperor, so you wait here for me for a few days, and the weapons will naturally be handed over to you intact. Master Lu said very happily. Then I would like to thank my seniors first. Xuan smiled slowly, but the next moment he became depressed again. Because Xuan didn't know if Master Lu would get paid for helping the members of the Xuanling royal family to build weapons. Yan Xiao, right, that. Not long after Master Lu turned his back to Xuan and said intermittently. Damn, they're all old foxes. Xuan couldn't help scolding. Obviously, once the conditions were negotiated, it was time for the reward. Master Lu, who owns the first smith in Xuantenshan, is probably asking for a lot of money. By the way, Senior Master Lu, about this time. Xuan was about to say something, but Master Lu interrupted Xuan directly. Can you leave a little bit of the yin-yang mysterious iron mother for me? Master Lu said very sincerely. What the hell? Xuan was shocked when he heard the words. What is this Master Lu talking about? I know, it stands to reason that I will make weapons for you for free, but this yin-yang black iron mother is too rare. I have never seen it in my life, so can you leave a little bit for me? Don't worry, I will definitely build this sword for you. With the yin-yang mysterious iron mother, this weapon will definitely be more powerful than any other immortal weapon. Master Lu was afraid that Xuan would refuse, so he hurriedly said. Vice negotiating tone. As long as the weapon is repaired, the remaining materials will be handed over to the seniors for free use. Xuan laughed. Success. When Master Lu heard the words, he smiled, but there was a hint of madness in his pupils. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 888. I hope this guy won't be a lunatic. Xuan clearly noticed the enthusiasm in Master Lu's eyes, and couldn't help but said slightly. Ha ha ha. Two little friends, sit here. In the past few days, the two of you should not go out. To save the trouble, you may be able to see my casting here. For you, it will have a lot of advantages. Master Lu greeted Xuan and Mu Ying directly. Ying sat down at the stone table beside her. Well, it's up to Senior. Xuan and Mu Ying didn't want to go anywhere, so they sat down there, and then Xuan handed the yin-yang mysterious iron mother and the broken fairy sword to Master Lu. They're all good treasures. After Master Lu just took over the yin-yang mysterious iron mother and the broken fairy sword, he immediately touched his hands gently, very cautiously. He. Master Lu naturally had his plans in mind. He naturally never doubted the identities of Xuan and the two of them. After all, King Xuanling personally said that those who entered the second floor of the underground palace could unconditionally refine weapons for them. After all, they could enter the underground palace of the Xuanling royal family. It must have been approved by the Xuanling king. Moreover, the biggest reason why Master Lu left Xuan and the two of them was that he was going to do a very important thing. If there were no witnesses, Master Lu would be extremely lonely. Master Lu is a powerhouse who can cast immortal-level weapons with the strength of the 5th rank 9-star Do D in the entire Xuantian Santian. But this broken fairy sword itself is already ranked among the fairy weapons, and now there is a yin and yang mysterious iron mother. Master Lu naturally intends to forge a fairy sword with wisdom. It is Yun Ling. Casting weapons and refining medicinal pills are roughly the same. However, Rao is Master Lu's current strength. Although he has also refined some immortal artifacts, he has never refined an immortal artifact with an artifact spirit. Immortals are powerful, but whether there is an artifact or not is a huge criterion that depends on the strength of the immortals. In the past, it was because Master Lu was not strong enough and the materials were limited, but now it is different. It is trivial to have a rare material like yin-yang black iron mother. I hope this guy won't let us down. Xuan said slightly, without wasting any time. he just closed his eyes and practiced. Mu Yingying looked at Xiaoyan, who never let go of a moment. She didn't know what to think. She looked at Xiaoyan in a daze, not saying anything. Rise the fire. At this time, Master Lu didn't want to talk nonsense. After all, he extracted the yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother earlier, so as to prepare for his immortal artifact. It's just that Master Lu didn't tell them that it was too easy for Master Lu to repair the broken fairy sword, and he didn't even need the yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother at all. However, since Xiaoyan said that he would add the yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother to the immortal sword, then Master Lu was naturally happy. Fire! With Master Lu's voice immediately in front of him, in the casting platform, the yin-yang mysterious Iron Mother was enveloped by a group of extremely bright flames. Although these flames are not as powerful as holy flames and abnormal flames, they are much stronger than ordinary flames. The materials for making the broken fairy sword are absolutely ordinary, but after being burned by the flame, there are signs of melting, but the yin and yang black Iron Mother is as solid as a rock. At this time, when the second floor of the underground palace was so lively, Fen Tian and his party had already entered the third floor of the underground palace. How's the band layout going? Fen Tian asked Zhu Jin, who was laying out the band behind him. Okay, with this restriction, Xiaoyan and the others will definitely not be able to enter. Elder Zhu said slowly. Everyone, listen carefully. This time the plan can only be successful and not allowed to fail. Maybe it's our last action. Fen Tian said solemnly. Yes. As Fen Tian spoke, several other strong men also knew that this trip was no small matter. However, safety comes first. If the Xuanling royal family has backup or other mysterious powerhouses, retreat immediately. Do you understand? Fen Tian felt that he still needed to make things clear to prevent accidents. Understood. With Fen Tian's solemnity, the other powerhouses also knew that they were the mainstay of Fenxiang Pavilion, and there must be no accident. Otherwise, the strength of Fenxiang Pavilion's powerhouses would decrease, and they would inevitably be bullied by other sects. Let's go! Fen Tian looked at everyone with vigilance, and then nodded slightly. As soon as Fen Tian's voice fell, everyone immediately walked towards the third floor of the underground palace, directly submerging into the light curtain in front of him. It is strange to say that this underground palace has no passages at all, and can only enter layer by layer. As for how the members of the Xuanling royal family can enter and exit freely, I am afraid they have the secrets of the underground palace, but Fen Tian and his party, who do not know the secret, can only do it. Choose to enter layer by layer. And the underground palace is also very strange. Almost every floor is an independent space. I don't know how much resources the Xuanling royal family used to build this 7-story underground palace. On the third floor of the underground palace, here is an endless grassland. The grassland is lush and green, giving people a feeling of being relaxed and happy. Other than that, there is nothing. This is the third floor of the underground palace? A strange space. Ling Mengsheng was at the front of the team, looking at the green grassland. He couldn't help but say. It is said that in the underground palace, there are guardians on every floor this endless green grassland. Where are the guardians? Ling Mengsheng couldn't help but said depressedly. Except for Fen Tian and Zhu Jin, everyone else shook their heads, apparently not finding anything wrong. Pavilion Master, I'll go? Zhu Lao turned his head and asked Fen Tian. Obviously, Zhu Lao seemed to have found a strong man hidden in the grassland. Yes. Fen Tian naturally didn't want to reveal his full strength prematurely, so he said. When old Zhu heard the words, he nodded secretly, and immediately disappeared in front of everyone. Who is it? At this time, the strong man guarding the third floor of the underground palace also seemed to intend to have something on the grass, and immediately said angrily. The third floor of the underground palace is an extremely wide grassland, but don't look at the lush green grassland. There is a hidden murderous intention inside. Get out! The next moment, a gloomy female voice sounded slowly. At the same time, a piece of turf suddenly appeared on the green grass, and the turf suddenly turned into a middle-aged woman. The middle-aged woman is green all over, even her skin is green. You are the guardian of the third floor of the underground palace? Zhu Lao frowned slightly when he saw this. This guy's strength was only a complete 8-star Do D, so naturally he felt a little incredible. Humph, didn't you just enter the underground palace as soon as you say it? Get out, otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. The green woman opened her mouth slightly. She had no certainty of winning against Zhu Jin, so she had to open her mouth slightly. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 889. A mere 8-star Do Emperor who is a complete powerhouse, dares to say nonsense in front of me? Zhu Jin suddenly laughed. The person in front of him should be the guardian of the 3rd floor of the underground palace. His whole body is green, which contrasts with the green grassland. If it wasn't for Zhu Jin's enormous spiritual power, it would be difficult to find it. Humph! The Green Guardian naturally felt Zhu Jin's unfathomable strength, and then snorted coldly. His figure disappeared, and he completely merged into the grassland. Where to run? Zhu Jin would not give the Green Guardian such a chance. After all, if she were to run away, it would be extremely easy to attract stronger members of the Xuanling royal family, so she would definitely not let her go. What the asterisk is that guy doing, King Xuanling? Isn't it a promise that we will be fine in the underground palace? Why this time, so many powerhouses entered? The Green Guardian hid under the grassland and moved quickly, but no matter how he moved, Zhu Jin kept following him. The breath of these people seems to be the same as the one who suppressed the guy in the deepest part of the underground palace. Could it be that their purpose? After a while, the Green Guardian suddenly whispered, "Forget it. Time waits for no one." Zhu Jin sensed that the Green Guardian quickly fled, and then said a word from the corner of his mouth. After a while, without hesitation, he raised his palm slightly, and a bucket covered with 9,000 core inscriptions. The array scroll appeared directly in the hand. "Go!" Immediately, Zhu Jin's figure exploded and disappeared, and the next moment when Zidu appeared, he came directly to the grass where the Green Guardian fled. Not good. Although the Green Guardian is the strength of the 8-star duty consummation, how could he expect Zhu Jin's strength to be so fearful, because the situation of Zhu Jin's sudden disappearance was slightly sluggish under the grass, and then he was directly hit by Zhu Jin middle. To be precise, the scroll of the battle formation on Zhu Jin's palm suddenly shot out under the grass where the Green Guardian was located. At that time, on the grass, about 10 meters of the ground, it broke open instantly. Then a striking situation appeared in front of Zhu Jin. "Be in there obediently. We are here this time, not for you, so we won't hurt you." "But I have to feel wronged," Zhu Jin said slowly. "Despicable," the Green Guardian said suddenly. "At this time, I don't know what power. I directly imprisoned the Green Guardian, and the one who imprisoned her is an extremely complex formation." The Green Guardian was in the formation at this time, and this formation actually made her 8-star Do Emperor's perfect strength feel a wave of fear. If it wasn't for Zhu Jin's lack of killing intent, I'm afraid that an attack would erupt when the core inscription was activated, and this 8-star Do D perfection level Guardian would instantly fall into the formation. "What are you doing in the underground palace?" The underground palace is an agreement between some of our strong men and King Xuanling. He provides us with an isolated place, and we live here. The Green Guardian said, rather puzzled. "We are here just to find people, and we have no ill intentions towards you. But you made a mistake. King Xuanling is not simply to provide you with a place to be isolated from the world. If the time is right, I am afraid that with the character of King Xuanling, it may directly swallow you up." Zhu Jin shook his head and said. Zhu Jin slowly discovered that the details of the Xuanling king have become mysterious and extremely elusive since the two fought each other. "Maybe, but we have been quiet for thousands of years, and we should protect this paradise for King Xuanling." The voice fell, and the Green Guardian's body was like the light of the moon, and it flashed green. "You're crazy." Seeing this, Zhu Jin was shocked. This Guardian actually wants to blow himself up. It's you who are crazy. If you want to pass the 3rd floor that I'm guarding, it won't be so easy. After the Green Guardian finished speaking, he suddenly laughed strangely. "Asshole! What the asterisk is this Guardian doing?" Zhu Jin asked in confusion. "Grass, land, air, lend my strength." After a while, a soft whisper came from under the lips of the Green Guardian Bay. And with the Green Guardian's opening, Zhu Jin actually discovered that at this time, in this endless green grassland, hundreds of green light spots were directly facing the fallen formation at a speed visible to the naked eye. The Green Guardians in the scrolls roared. Not good. When Zhu Jin realized something, the scroll of battle formation suddenly shattered and dissipated in this space. Miscalculation. Zhu Jin slowly shook his head. I had indeed sent out 9,000 core inscriptions, 9,000 core inscriptions. This was enough to trap the 9-star Do D level formation, but after trapping the Green Guardian, Zhu Jin didn't do anything, and gave him the protection. This formation will only be broken if the person has a chance to breathe. I don't know where you are, but today, Yuanlin, will definitely not let you go. Take the call. 10,000 Flowers Burial. Yuan Lan, the Green Guardian, just finished speaking, and suddenly the overwhelming flying sand and stones, and the extremely bright green power directly transformed into a huge green flower. It is a huge force that implies a deadly place, roaring away at the bamboo embers. Hey! Zhu Jin shook his head, obviously not expecting that he would have to use his strength to deal with an 8-star Do Emperor to complete his success. Sure enough, people are getting old. Zhu Jin said slowly, and then in his body, a force containing the power of black and white life and death slowly spread out from the body. And with the emergence of Zhu Jin's dazzling power of life and death, the power in most of the space suddenly solidified. Even Yuan Lan's attack was like a block of ice, stuck in the air. Peefed. Zhu Jin stretched out his finger and lightly tapped, and suddenly the 10,000 Flowers Thorn Burial, which had condensed into ice cubes, suddenly shattered. Half-immortal powerhouse. At this time, Yuanlin's face also became extremely ugly. Escape. An idea appeared directly in Yuan Lan's mind. Don't eat the toast, eat the penalty drink. Zhu Jin snorted coldly, and then the dazzling power of life and death instantly hit Yuan Lan, and then Yuan Lan passed out. It's settled. Let's go. 4th floor of the underground palace. Zhu Jin finished dealing with Yuanlin, passed out in a coma after 3 confirmations, and immediately returned to the side of Fen Tian and the others. Let's go. But you guy, an 8-star Do Emperor has forced you to be like this. Ha ha ha. Fen Tian laughed. Zhu Jin blushed when she heard the words. Obviously, the embarrassing thing he just happened was sensed by Fen Tian. Just wanted to quibble, then looked at the others and laughed as well, then stared viciously at the few people behind, and then walked towards the 4th floor of the underground palace. And with the departure of Fen Tian and his party, the 3rd floor of the underground palace also returned to calm, but the Guardian was in a coma at this time, and there was no other change. End of this chapter.